Hi, Pimol. Danny here.
Greg,
Right
how are
on.
you doing?
We figured I was writing you a long email, and I figured it'd be just easier to shoot a short video and give you an example of sort of why our packaging is so much different than the vast majority of other producer processors out there. So there's essentially in my email I sort of pointed out that there's three sort of types of packaging you get out there on the i502 market. First is your very, very basic. It's a plain bag like this. It's a few cents and a sticker. And this is sort of what is out there right now. And this is your first tier. And the vast majority of your producer and processors out there, this is what they are using because it's the cheapest way in. And these are some examples of some of our competitors with this. The next tier that we see is actually in the glass jars. Do we have a sample of the glass jar? Can you grab one? This is sort of the next level up. It's a little bit more expensive. Typically, they'll just use a glass jar like this. It's something that we would get at Walmart. And as a matter of fact, if you go into the retail stores and you look at the packaging, oh, Kyle's got one too. There's another one. Very much you can see that most of the packaging comes from Walmart or Target or one of these stores. This is also another type of the glass jar. It's a resealable. Actually, this is quite popular.
It's just a candle jar.
It's a candle jar
with
a sticker on it. Again, not very sort of, not too much to it. The third level is of course printed bags. And actually, these are some of our competitors, and okay, obviously we've sampled their product because that's what we do. Yeah. But you can see that there's not really a whole lot of attraction at this level, as you can see. Yeah, I know it's pretty hard to see it in this light. And then we see probably maybe 25 or 30 producers who have some sort of package bag like this with graphic on it. It's pre-printed, and as you can see, they have their. We have this as an example of what we don't want to produce. But this is an example of one of the processors who actually has put some time and effort into it. I talked about Fat Panda in my email, and they're actually one of the leaders. They have some very, very good branding and packaging and marketing, but they're also putting through $750,000 a month. They have 50 people on staff, and they have a massive facility. And
the backing to do it.
And so yeah, and they're our competition. And I actually think that
their business model is the same that we've been pitching for the last year, and I believe we would be on that same level within a half a year. We would be right there.
Short order. And they actually have great stuff too. But so that brings us to us. So this is now I know in Vegas we saw that, of course you saw our joint racks. This is sort of the paradigm to beat. In any store that we have our joints in this packaging, and we outsell at least, 5-6 to 1?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And our price margin is down low enough that we compete with anybody out there with their joints. Our quality has been consistent throughout, and that makes a huge difference.
Yeah. And again, our issue is our ability to produce. So we typically sell, 3,000 to 5,000 of these a day, but we can't make them that fast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have to. And again, one of the things that we talked about was how specific our bags were. So one of the things that makes us unique versus actually every single other processor is we are one of the only processors. We are the only processor that bundles multiple products in the same package like this. So, for example, in this one we have, of course, our marketing and promotion materials. We'll have a little jar here that has, break-proof, seal-proof for the marijuana. We'll bring in, a tube for the ready-to-go joint. We were selling lighters, but then a couple of them exploded. Yeah. And we decided that
they were from China.
They were from China, but they exploded, and we decided we didn't want that liability. But we do these, and actually we pour various flavors inside. It's probably hard to see through the camera, but it's this type of bundling that really makes us unique. And Craig, do you want to just take a second and talk about what the reaction is like when you present our products to new retailers or our retailers?
Yes. So Pimol, like Danny said earlier, 90% of them out there just use a generic bag. Most of them use a machine trim instead of a hand trim, and we go with the hand trim to keep it nicer and a higher quality like we spoke about before. We're trying to keep a top level brand. Now with the bundling here, nobody has thought of it yet to even start doing this, and we've done it because we have so many products. We have a much more vast product line than a lot of other producer processors.
Of the same size.
Yeah, they don't do a joint, flour, the keep. A majority of them just do flour, and that is it. So our competitors in the joint market and a few others, it's not as broad of a market. There is only a few individuals, like Danny said, that are really doing it well, and that makes us just have to compete with them, not with all the rest of them.
And just as a segue there, right now we're not competing. Right now there is enough white space in the market that when we go into stores, we're not fighting with other producer processors over space because it's being eaten up immediately. In 3 or 6 months, I think this might be, well, maybe not 3 months, but in 6 months, I think this might be a much different story because, like we have figured out, that really the way for our organization to become that $18, $30, $60 million company in relatively short order, we need to increase our throughput. And the only way we can do that in Washington State with the way the laws are structured is by focusing on the processing aspect. I want to reiterate, we need to grow to have the legitimacy in the market. We can't just be a processor. It's not going to work that way. But what we need to do is we need to have a collective of 15, 20, 30 farmers that all funnel through us. And we have seen this model work. We know that our largest competitors, that is how they are ranking #1. And the key to this success is, #1, first of all, we need a pool, inventory pool that we can put on a menu that's available 7 days a week. And that is probably going to take us probably about $50,000. But the thing about this pool is that within 96 hours for sure, we can have this stuff flipped around with the one caveat of having enough people and the space to shove the product in the bags fast enough.
And as Danny was saying, we're just trying to get that production line. That is one way we can expand without any rules or anything like that. We can package in our own packaging. We can package it in their kind of packaging, but it all falls under Cascade Crops. So we're making money and getting shelf space for all these brands. So as we talked about before, it's eat or be eaten. And we are going out there and trying to eat up all these other little companies and bring them under our umbrella.
Very nicely. I don't want to say eat. Partners in success.
There you go. But if not, like you said, buy them and destroy them.
So that is why. And so now, to be quite frank and to say, okay, if you had to stack rank the branding of all of the I-502 companies, I would easily say that we are in the top 5.
I would give us that top 5 to 10.
They're top 5. We don't have the volume of sales, but it definitely in our market and where people know us, we are definitely in that tier for sure.
Well, and with Jeff as our helping on our Instagram, our social media, people would appear that we are probably #1 out there, and a lot of times people get a hold of us thinking that we are the top dog because we do have so many followers.
And we let them think that.
Yes. It's all an illusion, right, people? But really, for our facility and the size it is, the magnitude of out there, what the people think, is we have huge warehouses and greenhouses, which we do not. But we do sell it that way, and we just need to get them now.
And that's where we're at. And I think that and actually probably, I don't know if you're on Instagram, but if you check us out at www.instagram.com/Cascade Crops, you'll just see we're definitely of all of the recreational accounts out there, we definitely have the highest number of followers. So we should probably wrap this up. Okay. I'll take some pictures and I'll send those up, and then I'm going to load this up to the tube and I'll send you a link.
All right, Pimol. See you soon.